There's just so much information out there these days. It can feel, well, overwhelming trying to figure out what actually matters. That's really what the deep dive is all about, trying to cut through that noise, bring you the key takeaways. So today we're diving into the really intricate world of franchising. It's fascinating, but complex, and specifically how new tech is stepping in to make things, well, simpler. We're going to focus on Dokio. It's a SaaS solution, software as a service, that's really designed to help with marketing, comms, and just, growth for these franchise networks.
Yeah, absolutely. And for this deep dive, we've gone through a couple of key sources.
Yeah.
We looked at Dokio's franchising solution, that's a PDF, and also Dokio, localized campaigns and consistent branding. They give a pretty solid view of the challenges and how this platform aims to solve them.
Right. So our mission here is really to unpack how Dokio tackles those big hurdles for both the main company, the franchisor, and the individual franchisees on the ground. How it helps them actually grow. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Franchising itself, it's just inherently complex, isn't it? I mean, just imagine, for you, the listener, trying to keep one single brand image looking perfect across maybe hundreds, even thousands of separate businesses run by different people in different places. That's a huge challenge.
Well, it absolutely is. And our sources really call out some specific, very real pressures for the franchisors. First off, just protecting that brand reputation. Keeping control. That's priority number one. Then there's the challenge of delivering everything, marketing, support at scale, but doing it cost effectively. That's tough. And they're juggling so many different groups. The franchisees themselves, customers, suppliers, even people thinking about buying a franchise. Plus, they need to give the franchisees tools that actually work for local stuff, like local campaigns or sponsoring the local football team. And all these services need to be, well, agile and not break the bank. You see how these things can clash, right? They often lead to budget problems. You end up having to choose maybe between really creative local ideas and just getting the basic brand message out everywhere. And that kind of pressure makes it hard for the central marketing teams to step back and really look at the data, figure out the strategy.
Okay, so that paints a pretty complex picture. You've got this tangled web of challenges. So how do you even start to fix that? And I guess that's where Dokio comes in. You mentioned it started as an idea inside a creative agency.
Yeah, that's right. It came from a digital agency, basically. The story goes they were working with big clients, struggling with the inefficiency of scaling campaigns. The classic problem. Great creative work, but getting it out consistently everywhere was a nightmare. So they thought, there must be a better way, a smarter way to connect the creative side with the execution side. And that frustration, that idea led to building this SaaS tool.
Right. And it's grown quite a bit since then.
It really has.
Yeah.
That was nearly 9 years ago. Now Dokio has customers all over the globe.
Mm-hmm.
And in loads of different sectors too. Finance, insurance, consumer goods, tourism, nonprofits, energy, even automotive. It just shows how flexible it is. It works across different industries, different timescales. You've got big distributed marketing teams using it, but also like individual retail store managers. It adapts.
Mm-hmm. And what are the big selling points right out the gate? You mentioned it's fast to set up.
Yeah, that's a key one. They say you can go live in as little as 2 weeks, which is pretty quick for this kind of system. It's also built to scale up easily as the franchise network grows. And it genuinely seems to empower the teams, letting them do more without necessarily needing more resources. Plus, and this is crucial, it makes it simple to actually measure how well your content is doing across different channels.
Okay, so it tackles those content bottlenecks head on.
Exactly. Remember that quote we saw from a global retail customer? He said, Dokio reduced our time to market by 80%, allowing us to expand to greater opportunities.
Wow, 80%. That's huge.
It is. It means businesses can create all sorts of high-quality stuff, ads, social posts, flyers for lots of channels way faster than usual. And the way it does this is through a few core capabilities. Things like speeding up content creation, enabling really specific personalization and localization, making sure the brand looks strong and consistent everywhere, working across multiple channels, and importantly, controlling who can access and change what through user permissions.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more. That idea of consistency and localization. It sounds a bit like having your cake and eating it too. How does Dokio actually make that work in practice? What's the core promise here?
Well, yeah, that's the central piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
The core value proposition is exactly that. It provides a way for franchises to create, manage, and run their marketing and customer interactions across all channels. So that everything looks like it comes from the same brand, but it's also tailored perfectly for the local market. And a big part of that is user friendliness. It's designed to be easy for the franchisor to set up and manage. And for the franchisee, the interface is meant to be really intuitive, simple to use.
Right. Ease of use is key. But how does that actually translate into, real benefits on the ground?
Well, think about the time saving. With automation handling a lot of the repetitive tasks, it frees people up. Both the central team and the local franchisees can spend more time actually talking to customers, building relationships, maintaining those connections, less time fiddling with design software or managing spreadsheets.
Okay, that makes sense. And you mentioned something about localization being really easy, like QR codes.
Yeah, that's a fascinating detail.
Yeah.
The system can generate QR codes for, say, a national campaign advert, but when a customer scans it, it automatically links to the local franchisee's details, maybe their booking page or a local job application or a special regional offer.
Yeah, clever.
And the franchise doesn't even have to type in their address or phone number every time. Dokio already knows who they are when they log in. So when they pick a template, say for a flyer, it automatically fills in their local contact info, maybe their specific opening hours. It ensures that brand consistency, but makes the localization almost automatic.
So it's not just making it possible, it's making it efficient.
Exactly. And the sources hint that franchises getting this right, this hyper-localization, they see real results. Things like customer engagement, repeat business, people showing up to local events. Those metrics can jump significantly. Double digits, potentially. So Dokio aims to make that scalable, turning a tough challenge into an actual advantage.
That really does sound like a smart way to handle a common headache. So let's get specific. What tools does Dokio actually give the franchisor to manage all this?
Right. For the franchisor, the central team, there are several key features. First, there's acquisition marketing support. This helps them create personalized materials across different channels, specifically for generating new leads, like potential franchisees. Then, franchise asset management. This is basically a central library. The franchisor uploads all the official stuff, banners, print designs, logos, icons, photos, and franchisees can easily find and use them.
Okay, like a single source of truth for brand assets.
Precisely. Then there's brand protection and consistency. This is managed through templates. They can create templates where certain parts are locked down, but other fields can be customized locally. So you get a tailored experience, but the core brand stays intact.
Makes sense.
Next is personalization and localization functionality. This gives the franchisees the power to quickly adapt content, maybe translate it, or tweak it for local culture, or respond to a local event, making sure it resonates better.
And reporting. Can they see what's being used?
Yes, absolutely. Full reporting and measurement. They can see exactly how each franchise or each market or region is using the content and marketing assets, which helps them monitor performance and figure out what's working best where.
Okay, sounds like a pretty solid toolkit for the franchisor. Feels like it gives them control, but also enables the locals. So flipping that coin, what about the franchisee? What's in it for them day to day? How does it make their life easier?
For the franchisee, it's really about streamlining their local marketing efforts. They get that centralized asset management platform too, but from their perspective, it's their go-to marketing library. All the approved brand elements, colors, fonts, logos, digital templates, print templates are right there. They can pick a template and easily personalize it for their local needs, knowing it's brand compliant.
So less guesswork for them.
Exactly. And the localized content features mean they can actually make meaningful changes quickly, responding to what's happening in their specific market without waiting weeks for approval. They also get specific templates ready-made for social media and the Google Display Network, GDN. These are designed to be super easy to use. Pick a template, add your local message or offer, and upload it straight to Facebook, Instagram, or Google Ads.
Okay, that sounds practical. What about print? That can be a hassle locally.
Yeah, Dokio addresses that with its print supplier and budget management feature. It's pretty integrated. They can personalize print materials like a flyer or poster directly in the platform, then potentially send it directly to an approved local printer through the system. And crucially, manage the budget for that print job right there so they don't accidentally overspend.
Keeping track of print costs in one place, that's useful.
Definitely.
Yay.
And finally, underpinning all of this is the intuitive interface. It's designed to be clean, uncluttered, making it easy for franchisees who aren't always marketing experts to find what they need and create good-looking content quickly.
It really seems like the templates are the engine driving a lot of this. You mentioned a few, but just how broad is the range? What channels do they actually cover?
Oh, the range is pretty extensive, yeah. It covers a lot of ground. For social media, you've got templates for Facebook posts, stories, carousels, Instagram posts and stories, LinkedIn posts, and cover images. These can be locked down to specific campaign elements if needed.
Okay, standard social covered. What else?
Email templates, too. Wireframes, where you can select themes, adjust headers and footers, add image or text modules, even upload lists and send test emails. For print, there are templates for standard poster sizes A4, A3, A5. Also, business card templates, with different layouts for loyalty cards or referral cards. And DL flyer templates, the tall, skinny ones with options for full image, part image text, or just text. Plus, they have that automatic localization for calls to action and approval workflows built in.
Digital ads, too.
Yep. Digital templates for the Google Display Network, covering common sizes like squares, rectangles, netboards, the triple widescreen format. And then some special features like that inbuilt localization we talked about, the approval process, templates designed for in-store digital displays, and even video templates. They offer about 5 per year, where the franchisor provides the main video, like an MP4 file, and the franchisee can define the localized call-to-action message that appears on a tile.
Wow, video too. That's quite comprehensive.
And they mentioned HTML5 banners are coming soon. Those are the more interactive, animated web ads, so they're still adding more. The key thing, though, isn't just the number of templates. It's how they're designed to keep the brand looking right, no matter the channel or the localization.
Right. So let's zoom out again. Thinking about the big picture for someone listening, maybe someone involved in franchising, how does Dokio really pull all these different pieces, the templates, the features for franchisor and franchising, into one sort of complete solution?
Well, fundamentally, it's a visual platform that brings order to the chaos of brand assets. It lets the franchisor organize everything, set clear rules or permissions about who can use what and change what. It becomes that single central hub for sharing assets, updating them easily, change it once. It updates everywhere it needs to.
Okay.
And the clever template system means one core design can automatically generate lots of different sizes and formats needed for various channels.
So simplifying complexity again?
Exactly. And like we said, it's designed to be easy for the franchisor to manage, easy for the franchise to use. That ease of use, driven by automation, is what frees up time. Time that can be spent on building those crucial relationships, nurturing customer connections, which at the end of the day is what drives growth.
That makes a lot of sense. It connects the tech back to the business goals. So if a franchise network is listening and thinking, okay, this sounds interesting, how do they actually get started? What's involved?
They have a couple of main options based on the sources. For smaller networks, there's a quick start package designed to get them up and running pretty fast, like within a few weeks. For larger, maybe more complex networks, Dokio works with them more closely to figure out their exact needs. They'll scope it out and propose a solution, aiming to get them operational in under a month.
And pricing, how does that work?
It seems flexible. Pricing can be based on the number of users, per seat, or they can arrange a site license, which might cover the whole network. It depends on the specific setup and requirements.
Okay, good to know there are options. So, just to wrap up our deep dive today, the core takeaway seems to be that Dokio offers a powerful way for franchises to manage that tricky balancing act, achieving essential brand consistency across the board, while also enabling really effective localization right down to the individual store level, all at scale. It effectively turns complex, often fragmented marketing efforts into a much more streamlined and efficient process.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave with you, the listener. This raises an important question, doesn't it? We live in such a fragmented digital world now. Maintaining that unified brand feel while still making genuine local connections, that's becoming paramount. So looking ahead, how much more critical will technologies like Dokio become? Not just for franchises, but maybe for businesses of all sizes trying to navigate this landscape.
That's a really interesting point to consider. How essential does this kind of tech become? Definitely something to mull over. Hopefully this deep dive has given you some valuable insights to think about.